Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're a true Marvel fan, you know the studio has had its share of legendary hits, but not every project has been a success. Today we're diving into the 10 biggest box office failures in Marvel history. Some of these might surprise you. Before we jump in, don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our superhero content. Let's get started. Black Widow, 2021. Black Widow's solo film felt like it came too late for most fans. Set before Infinity War, the movie explores one of Natasha Romanoff's earlier missions. The problem? It was released after the conclusion of the Thanos saga, and viewers already knew her fate. This dulled the impact of what could have been a major moment for the character. Like several titles on this list, Black Widow suffered from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Even though it earned around $379 million worldwide, it was still seen as a financial disappointment for Marvel Studios. Ironically, it ended up being the fifth highest-grossing film of 2021. Captain America, The First Avenger, 2011. After more than a decade of Marvel dominance in theaters, it's easy to forget the rocky beginnings of the MCU. One of the early hurdles came with Captain America, The First Avenger, which had a lukewarm reception at the box office. Despite being centered on a key character, it didn't quite win over audiences at the time. The film was meant to be a crucial piece in setting up the Avengers, 2012, but its slower pacing didn't sit well with many viewers. This impacted its performance, and the movie ended up earning around $370 million, globally modest by Marvel standard for such a major hero. The Incredible Hulk, 2008. The Hulk's universe is finally gaining new life, especially with fresh characters and returning villains making headlines again. But back in 2008, the situation was very different from Marvel's Green Goliath. The Incredible Hulk was one of the earliest MCU films and struggled to find its place. Despite the potential, it didn't generate the excitement Marvel had hoped for. Starring Edward Norton as Bruce Banner, the film failed to win over most audiences. It ended up earning just $264 million worldwide, which was underwhelming for a major superhero title. While the action and effects were praised by some, the overall reception remained mixed. As a result, the character was quietly recast in future films. X-Men: Dark Phoenix, 2019. X-Men: Dark Phoenix was meant to redeem the franchise's earlier attempt at adapting the iconic Phoenix saga. Fans hoped it would correct the mistakes of X-Men: The Last Stand and finally do justice to Jean Grey's powerful story. Unfortunately, the film ended up being one of the franchise's biggest disappointments. Both critics and audiences were left underwhelmed. Despite a star-studded cast including Sophie Turner, James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, and Jennifer Lawrence, the movie repeated many of the same missteps. It earned just $252.4 million globally, making it the lowest-grossing film in the entire X-Men series at that time. The result was a lackluster send-off for a once-promising saga. Ghost Rider, 2007. Long before his recent comedic hits, Nicolas Cage stepped into the world of comic book movies as Johnny Blaze in Ghost Rider. Released in 2007, the film aimed to bring the supernatural antihero to the big screen. However, it was met with mostly negative reviews from critics and failed to impress mainstream audiences. Its tone and execution felt off compared to other superhero films of the era. Despite the backlash, Ghost Rider developed a cult following and is now seen as a fun, over-the-top entry in Marvel's cinematic history. The movie earned around $228.7 million worldwide, which fell short of expectations. Still, its blend of horror, action, and Cage's performance gave it a unique place among Marvel's earlier film efforts. Daredevil, 2003. Released in 2003, Daredevil is one of those films remembered for being both bad and oddly entertaining. Starring Ben Affleck as the Man Without Fear, it brought together a cast of early 2000 stars, including Jennifer Garner and Michael Clark Duncan. The film aimed to explore Matt Murdock's origin story, his bond with Elektra, and his rivalry with Wilson Fisk. Unfortunately, its execution left much to be desired. Critics slammed the movie for its uneven tone and lackluster script, though some fans embraced it for its campy charm. Despite the star power behind it, Daredevil earned only $179.2 million worldwide. It ultimately failed to launch a lasting franchise, but its legacy lives on as a cult curiosity in Marvel's early film experiments. Fantastic Four, 2015. Josh Trank's Fantastic Four was meant to be Fox's big comeback for Marvel's first family. Nearly a decade after their previous films, the studio returned with a fresh, more diverse cast featuring Michael B. Jordan, Kate Mara, and Toby Kebbell. With a reimagined origin and darker tone, the reboot had potential to revive the franchise. Sadly, things didn't go as planned. Trank's mature approach clashed with the spirit of the Richards family, leaving audiences disconnected. Poor visual effects and weak storytelling only added to the disappointment. Facing tough box office competition from Insidious, Chapter 3 and Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation, the film managed to earn just $167.9 million globally. It remains one of Marvel's most infamous flops. Morbius, 2022. From the start, Morbius raised eyebrows as a risky addition to Sony's Marvel Universe. Starring Jared Leto as the living vampire, the film struggled to find its place within the broader superhero landscape. Its tone and style didn't mesh well with other Sony titles, leaving many fans confused about its direction. Despite the character's comic book roots, the movie never gained real traction. Critics and audiences alike were unimpressed, with poor reviews highlighting its weak plot and inconsistent pacing. The film earned just $167.5 million worldwide, far below expectations for a Marvel-affiliated project. Though it became a meme-worthy phenomenon online, that wasn't enough to save it from box office failure. Elektra, 2005. After making her debut in Daredevil, 2003, Jennifer Garner's Elektra received a solo film despite the mixed reception of her first appearance. Hopes were high, but Elektra failed to connect with audiences or critics. The film brought in only $56 million worldwide against a $43 million budget. As a result, the character was shelved from live-action projects for years. The movie took major creative liberties, focusing more on mystical elements and stripping away Elektra's darker, assassin roots. One of the biggest issues was the absence of her chemistry with Ben Affleck's Daredevil, which had been a highlight for fans. Without that connection, the film struggled to justify its place in the Marvel Universe. The New Mutants, 2020. The New Mutants remains one of Marvel's biggest box office failures, earning only $49.2 million worldwide. The film suffered from a long and troubled production, with multiple delays that hurt its momentum. Originally scheduled for April 2018, the movie was pushed back several times due to reshoots, internal studio issues, and eventually, the COVID-19 pandemic. Starring Anya Taylor-Joy, Maisie Williams, and Charlie Heaton, the film finally hit theaters in August 2020 at the height of uncertainty in cinemas. While it aimed to introduce a fresh, horror-themed take on the X-Men universe, its timing and reception doomed it. Over time, the film became known less for its content and more for its cursed production history. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us keep bringing you more superhero content. See you in the next one.